Hello again, and what I will show you today or in this video is how to make the armor here, the body armor. Let's try it. So first we will make sure that we don't need this kind of things anymore, because we already have this kind of traps armor, so we don't need it. I'll smooth it, push it a bit inwards and smooth it. What I need to do now is, let me see, make the shape of this thing here like this, then with the move tool. And now I'm getting my damp standard brush. You see, when I'm changing the brush, you will see it here. Damp standard brush I'm using now, and I will cut in here. And the damp standard brush by default is a bit different from the other brushes because it's on Z sub by default, and most of other brushes are Z add by default. So you have to be aware of this. And I mostly, when I'm adjusting my ZBrush at the beginning, when I install new ZBrush or when I'm sitting in a new computer, I always make it to Z add and then save it separately. Where to save it is another question. Most of the times you save your brushes that you're using in C program files, Pixologic, ZBrush, for example ZBrush, the version you have, and then it's Z startup is most likely the place you place your new brushes that you want to use. In Z startup, brushes. But yeah, I'm telling you that probably you won't remember it, which is cool, because we don't need that now. We don't need it at this point, because we are using only the brushes that ZBrush provides from the beginning. We won't be putting new brushes. I rarely use any other brushes, some alphas sometimes, but not brushes. So let's see, this is kind of good, but we need to move with the move brush. So you see how am I, again, rotating around the object and using various brushes to achieve the goal. So in the beginning you won't be that quick probably, and you will have to think, okay, which brush to use here, which brush to use there. But at some point you will get faster and faster, and suddenly you will be very good at this. Of course, you have to put the time and effort to learn it, and yeah, to practice it enough. Let's do this, and I think this is cool. Let's see it. But I'm thinking of something. Probably we should zero mesh this armor, and it will be easier to make this, all these things. Let me see. Yeah, it's looking kind of good. It's looking kind of good, but I will zero mesh it. How to zero mesh it? Okay, we can go here or zero mesh from this menu. Of course, if you don't have the menu, you won't be able to zero mesh from there. So you will zero mesh from here in the geometry tab, zero mesher, and go to zero mesher and lower. Let's try 0.5 and zero mesh, and let's see what kind of topology it will make, whether it will be nice or not. We'll see. It's a bit more polygons than I anticipated, but probably it could be fine. Yeah, I think it's we'll see. So now I'm continuing with the standard brush, just pushing here and there. We'll see how it will be. I'm going to use also the pinch brush. What the pinch brush does is, you can see when I'm just dragging with the pinch brush, it's just making the polygons closer to each other, and thus making a kind of sharp transition between some planes, for example, if we want to do it. And obviously we will use it for this. Sharp transitions from plane to plane. This is the pinch brush. And when I'm pinching valleys, I'm pinching peaks, I'm pinching just with the pinch brush, I'm just dragging. When I'm pinching valleys or inward things, I'm pinching with Alt. So yeah, again, we have the Alt use of the brush. And of course, the Shift use of the brush will be to smooth. Let's do this now. This, and let's see. Okay, this kind of thing here on the neck, let's move it down. And since it's a little bit lower poly, I think we can move it down easily. I will make sure this is inward. And I don't know how the hands will work, but probably they will at some point, somehow. We'll make them work. And I'm just, again, Alt, moving, Alt. Yeah, let's see again how to pan and zoom. Just Alt, click, and then we move. With Alt, holding Alt, we're moving. And then we release Alt and continue to drag, and we are like this. So, let's see what else we might learn. About what? So, I don't think I explained you the polygons in ZBrush pretty well. We have used them here in this area, but I haven't explained them yet. Also, although we will use a little bit of a Z modeler brush again. Just pressing space, insert, single edge loop. We insert one loop here, and also we will mask it again. Reverse the mask, and then put our pivot with Alt click here to be centered, and then a little bit of increase. So I want this area, this shoulder, to be a bit spherical, I mean a part of a sphere. Then I will, you see how I disabled the mask, how I deleted the mask. You just control, drag outside the object, and the mask is gone, completely gone. This is cool. And yeah, you can see this shoulder here, this lip, the lower lip, this is a little bit strange here, but in this area we can see it better. And I think we have made it as good as it can be. We'll see. We'll see. We can now go to make the thickness of this shoulder, which will be fine. And I will make it thicker probably than the image. We'll see. So, how to make thickness? We go to polygon, not to an edge, and polygon. And when we go to a polygon, we press space again and hold it. Because if we don't hold space, it will disappear. So, hold. And then we have QMesh by default here. We can do it with QMesh, but I prefer extrude. So from this all options here, which looks very scary at the first glance, we use only extrude, polygroup, and most of the time we use extrude and polygroup. That's the most things we use about polygons. And then here we will extrude not a single poly, but all polygons. Sometimes we use polygroup all, or polyloop, and anything else probably we don't use. I mean, from these all options we use frequently like 4 or 5 options, all, you know. So it's not that scary. You will just have to learn those few. So extrude all polygons, extrude them inward, and you notice how our polygons are inverted. And we'll have to fix that. And it's pretty easy. We can go to, I think it was display properties. Yes, flip. And we flip the polygons. But I have it here also, flip. So I always, kinda always, when I extrude my polygons, when I make thickness like this, I make it inward and then I flip. And then I'm crazy. When I flip, I'm crazy. I flip, oh, crazy. No, I'm good. So we have this thing. and this thing is the shoulder. What we can do, so you will ask probably, okay, you have the shoulder, but he has two shoulders. Very good question. Thank you for this. And if you like this course, of course, you can put a good comment wherever you are looking at the course. I mean, in which site, because probably it's in Udemy or ArtStation and some other places. Who knows where you can look at it. So, place it. How to mirror this shoulder? Easy. First select the shoulder by alt-clicking on it, alt-clicking on the shoulder, and let's turn on polyframe because it will be easier to see what we have selected. So now the shoulder is for sure selected. We go to mirror, which is here. But if you don't have it here, the mirror, you have to go to transform, not to transform, to Z plugin, subtool master, so Z plugin here, because Z script is and Z plugin are at the end of this because it's alphabetical. Yeah. So Z plugin, go to subtool master and then mirror, just press it and you will get this option, this menu, and it's pretty straightforward. I always use this first option, merge into one subtool. If I want it to be a separate subtool, of course I will do the second option. And you see the preview here on the right. This will be one subtool, this will be two subtools. And there, here in the bottom you see the preview again. Now it will be on x-axis, so it will be exactly what we want. If we want it to be on top, it will be like this, and if we want to be behind, on z-axis. So we want x-axis as it is, so we just press OK. I just explained those options to you, but we just have to press OK most of the time. So if you are using, of course, X symmetry on your model, and we are, so it's cool, because when I press X, the symmetry is X. We can change it, but we don't need. So the symmetry is X, and we need the symmetry turned on, so we press X to turn it on for these shoulders, because when we move one, we want the other one to move too. So now our model is starting to look pretty good, although the horns aren't alright yet. So maybe we should make them low poly too, so we can easily modify their appearance. So let's see them with this solo mode. I use always the solo mode when I want to concentrate on one thing, and I want to concentrate on these horns now. Let's zero mesh them. Okay, I will zero mesh them from this menu because it's easier. We have fewer options here. So let's try at 0.7. And of course, if we don't like it, we can always go ahead and Control Z and change it to something else and just try it again. But yeah, this is cool. So I'm showing it. If I want to check out how my model looks according to the image, according to this, I will have to make it relatively the same size. So now it's kind of the same size, and it's not exactly the same. So I will push this up. I will make these horns a bit bigger, and with the inflate tool, I will inflate them to make them a bit bigger. The horns are very important because they are giving us the silhouette of this character, and if we don't make them big enough or even bigger than they are in the image, we won't have a good looking character. So I'm making them a bit bigger than they were, and now it's looking better, I think. Okay, let's put them like this on the side. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I'm thinking that this is starting to look pretty good. Of course, from the side view, it doesn't look that promising, but we'll see. And also, you can see our head is a little bit lower than this. But when we put perspective on, it's a bit more like we have to be. what I'm doing now is just moving down the armor of the traps, and then I will alt click on the body itself, which is here, and move it down too, because we don't need that body there, and we don't need that things too. We need the body to be just below, but not protruding over the armor above, if you understand what I'm saying. So basically, in this video we have done the thickness of the shoulder. We can do the thickness of the armor too. So yeah, let's do it. We are on the armor now, you can see, and I will, on this part, and I will just make thickness, because now we have already made extrude all polygons, so we just need to place it on the polygon and drag down, and we will see this happening, and then we will flip it again. So flipping is good. Always. You always have to flip without being crazy, you know, just flip without being crazy. Now I'm making solo mode because I want to isolate a bit this this thing here, and I forgot the name of neck something, but whatever, it's not important. Is this thing, and we need to make it look good. Whether we will be able to, it's another question, but probably we will. And I'm using high polish brush to make some flat areas, which is needed here, and that's fine. We can even dig deep here, but it wouldn't be visible, so it's not mandatory. Okay, this is looking kind of good. All right, and yeah, we can see that the model is starting to take a pretty good shape. One more thing is, not one more thing, but we have to probably start working on the arms a bit, because yeah, but probably we won't start working on the arms. We will just make the legs. Why don't we make the legs? So you can notice how I just alt clicking, changing between the tools, and doing some stuff here and some stuff there, just making sure that everything is looking good. If I can make it better looking than the concept, it will be the best, of course, but since the concept I've chosen, I like it and it's looking good, and I want to make it at least as good as the concept. That's my goal here, and I'm working a lot slower than I'm used to work, because I want to show you everything. I want to explain every step of the way, and that's why, you know, and I'm not explaining now what I'm doing, I'm just talking, because now you know that I'm changing brushes with my keyboard. I'm changing it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can see them change here. 1 standard brush, 2 clay tools, 3 pinch brush, 4 is move, 5 is high polish, 6 is inflate, 7 is down standard, and 8 is the modeler, but I don't use the shortcut for 8 because I'm not used to. Because just recently I made this shortcut, and before that I didn't have 8. I was up to 7 only. So yeah, it's I can get used to it, but I don't use this brush that often. I mean, I'm changing between the move and standard brush and other brushes very often because I'm sculpting, you know. When I'm sculpting, I'm using them a lot, but the modeler brush not that much. So let's try to make the legs. I will show you again. So B, press B, go to curve tool brush, this brush with the big eyebrows like mine, big, yes, and the mustaches I don't have, and then we just make it. We can make it from the front like this, but it will be a bit strange, but why not? We make it from the front, and now we can go until our brush is blue, so here, and if we go a little bit further than the curve, the brush is normal, but if we are on the curve, it's blue. So now I will make it smaller while it's blue, and then I will just adjust the curve a bit like this, so it's going in this S curve. Yes. And we will probably have to inflate, and here it's a bit strange, but we will make it, no problem. I don't know why we have another, it's fine. So now I think they are kind of good, the legs, so we can just accept the curve. And accepting the curve, I told you already, it's easy, but some people just don't know it. Just we choose where to just tap on the mesh, just tap without anything, without alt, without anything. And then we will just split, unmasked or split masked, and I have it here because I use it often, split unmasked. And now it's on another subtool, and we will continue working on this in the next video. Bye for now, and hopefully you are happy with what you see.